For many of us, hearing a great film score instantly transports us back to the moment we first experienced it on the big screen. The music swelling as the story unfolded, emotions rising in perfect harmony with the images before us. Hollywood has long understood the power of great soundtracks, spending millions to ensure that music shapes the mood, heightens tension, and makes a scene unforgettable. Over the past 50 years, that same musical magic has evolved beyond the silver screen and into the world of video games. What began as a few catchy beeps and blips, the rudimentary intro themes to Pac-Man and Galaga, soon blossomed into the 8-bit charm of Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda. Today, video game music has become an art form all its own, with composers and full orchestras crafting sweeping cinematic scores that draw players deep into their digital adventures. On Friday, November the 14th at 7:30, at Jubilee Place will come alive with the sounds of this rich and evolving tradition as the Winnipeg Video Game Orchestra presents Genesis, a concert that celebrates the musical evolution of gaming. From the nostalgic worlds of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 to the emotional grandeur of Kingdom Hearts and beyond, this performance promises to take audiences on an unforgettable journey through some of the most iconic soundtracks in gaming history. Whether you're a lifelong gamer, a film score aficionado, or simply someone who loves great music, Genesis offers something special. Expect moments of joy, nostalgia, and pure excitement. Music that will have you itching to dust off your old Sega Genesis or plug in the old trusty Atari 2600 one more time. And joining me here in the Classic 107 studio to talk about the Winnipeg Video Game Orchestra's upcoming concert on November the 14th, I am joined by Dan Bjornson, the director of the Winnipeg Video Game Orchestra, and Amanda Forrest, who is a clarinetist and founding member of the group. Hello to you both. So great to have you here.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, that's a wonderful preamble. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Wonderful.
Okay, so before we get to the concert, the Winnipeg Video Game Orchestra is a pretty new ensemble, and it now consists of more than 30 members. Whose idea was it to start the ensemble like this, and when and how did the group come together?
It was very much Dan's idea.
Yeah, I could talk about that. It was an idea I've had for many years and just haven't had the time or motivation to make it happen. And a couple of years ago, discovered that there are groups like this in other cities. There's a really big one in Montreal, a few in Europe, and I thought there's no reason why we can't do that here. We have an incredible community of musicians here in Winnipeg, professional, amateur, semi-professional, and just coming out of high school through our wonderful music education programs. And so I knew it was possible, just someone had to go and do it. And I decided this year I'm going to do it, and talked to a few folks, and before we knew it, and now we're up to, there's going to be 50 in the band for this concert, and a larger list of people who are interested who just couldn't make it to this one. And so yeah, it's has exploded beyond my expectations, and it's been so great to experience.
And Amanda, what did you say when you first heard about it?
Well, I was really excited about it when I noticed. I think it was sometime in March when I saw a friend of mine, a bassoonist named Kayla Hay. She had posted sort of the little Google form that Dan had released, and I had been a fan of video games for some time. I didn't play a lot during my university years, but during my middle school and high school years, and now as an adult, I do indulge quite a bit, and I have a big appreciation for a lot of video games. And I've also learned a lot about many people who have done a lot of video game covers. So I was also dealing with a lot of really rough moments in my life, and it was just a perfect time to really kind of get into something like that and get into a sort of new ensemble and community of people, and it worked out. So
That's fantastic. Where do the players come from? Is it all community players? Is it audition based?
Yeah, it's all community members. It kind of started as let me reach out to all my friends from my undergrad, and it spread out from there. And we don't do any auditions, but there is certain, if the music has a certain level of difficulty to it, and I don't want to have somebody, brand new on their instrument jump in and get totally lost and never want to play their instrument again. So we just have a conversation with people. I find out about their experience, and I, sometimes I'll show them a piece of music, be like, hey, how does this look? And we kind of go from there. And I found that's been really successful. I want it to be like video games is such a unifying medium, and music can be that too. And I don't want to put too many barriers up for folks who are really passionate about video games and video game music. I don't want to put too many barriers up for them to be able to play with us.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about this performance that happened, I think it was in the late spring, early summer. You were scheduled to perform at the Community Band Festival. It got rained out, unfortunately. But then Dr. Jackie Dawson at the University of Manitoba invited the Video Game Orchestra to play there. What was the reception like for that performance?
My back was to the audience. How did you feel?
I thought it was people were pretty impressed. And I am noticing that we are getting comments on YouTube, and people are actually sort of responding to certain things that they see in the videos and certain things that they are hearing. So I think it's a very positive response. And I mean, Dan was able to get on CTV News at one point because of that performance.
Right,
and so we are getting people who are sort of reaching out to us and starting to connect with us. And I think that's really great. And
folks too were like, how do I play with you guys after that one as well?
I find the premise of the group and the concert on the 14th to be a real sign of the times. I mean, I grew up with Pac-Man, Galaga, and Donkey Kong, which had less than thrilling music, the bleeps and blips that I was talking about earlier. But now video game music, it's a big, big industry. Can you talk about some of your favorite video game scores? Amanda, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. So a lot of people I know have grown up with Zelda. I actually did not get a lot of opportunity to do a lot of Zelda. I had an N64 for a little bit, but I didn't really play a lot of Zelda at the time. I was still really young, so I don't think I was quite ready for that. My really big sort of gateway into sort of orchestral music was the Soul Calibur series, and we're doing something from Soul Calibur 2. The Soul Calibur series is a fighting game series that is a little more unique to many others because you're not just using your fists. It takes place in like sort of late 15th century or so, and you have people fighting with swords, and a lot of the games have sort of an orchestral sound font to sort of support that. So Soul Calibur 2 was a really big one for me, and a lot of those sounds really woke up a whole new world for me, and so I'm really excited that we are playing.
Yeah, I mean, I was very much a Nintendo kid growing up, and so Super Mario World is kind of the first one that pops to mind. The first one that the music really spoke to me, I would say, is Super Mario RPG, which got a big re-release last year, where they reorchestrated all the music and made it sounds like I remember it, right? Like it sounds like a modern version of how I remember it. And to talk about some more recent ones, because some incredible game music's coming out these days. We listened to the soundtrack to Tunic on the way here. My two favorite right now are out of newer games are a game called Outer Wilds, an indie game, just incredible space games, so just ethereal sounds. And to say more than that would be spoilers. And a game called Undertale, which has exploded in popularity as well. We had some of the music played by jazz band at my wedding, so to show where that game kind of fits in my heart. So it's a beautiful game.
For recent games for me, Baldur's Gate 3 has been a huge inspiration. It's just wonderful hearing a lot of those authentic instruments playing all of these beautiful instrumental lines. Every time I'd hear a clarinet line, my heart would just...
Yeah, if you want to see me bawl like a little baby, you play one of the ending songs from Outer Wilds or from Undertale, and you just will. I'm no shame. I'm just letting it all out.
What can audiences expect to hear on the 14th in regards to music?
Yeah, so we have a wonderful opening act in a band called 8-Bit and the Single Players. So 8-Bit is 8-Bit Music Theory, who has a huge YouTube channel, 500,000 subscribers. I didn't realize I went to University of Manitoba with him until I discovered afterwards that he's from Winnipeg. I'd been a fan of his channel for a while, and he has a jazz band of incredibly talented jazz musicians that do all video game covers, and they've played a few events here in Winnipeg, and so they're going to do an opening set for us. And then we will do ours. We're going to play, like you said, Sonic 1 and 2. From Kingdom Hearts, we're going to close out with Halo. In between, we'll have a bit of Soul Calibur, a bit of Kirby, and Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which is a favorite for many. And then both bands are going to come together for a big finale, which I won't say what song we're doing, but we're going to do a big finale at the end with both groups.
Fantastic. Where do the parts and arrangements come from?
Yeah, so it's that's an interesting question because like you can't just go into Long and McQuaid and just buy all this music. The arrangements don't exist. There's a lot of you could ask why that is, but I won't speculate too much. But so a lot of these arrangements were done specific for a specific band. A lot of them were done for this group in Montreal.
Orchestras Jeux Video. They're known as OJV, Orchestras Jeux Video, conducted by Jonathan Dagenet.
And they've done a lot of those arrangements, and so we've been playing some of those. There are some that are available online and through different publishers, and we're also using some of our local talent here. So my wife, who Meg Speck, did one of our arrangements for the last concert and assisted in one of the arrangements for this concert. And we're planning on having some more composers do some arrangements.
That was going to be my next question. I mean, for me, I think about local talent, and one of the composers that, I just thought, man, he'd get behind this 100% is Kenley Christopherson.
Oh, yes, we've talked, yes. I'm substitute teaching for him later this week, and he's been a good friend for a long time. And, yeah, he's on our list of people we're working with. We're working on getting some grant money to make that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why not? Speaking as a teacher myself, who's been teaching for a long time now, I've had 2 or 3 students show up for lessons, and they've learned video game songs on their clarinet. I've also had a couple actually bring full-on video game books with them. You're both teachers as well. Do you think video game music is something that can be used to build students' musicianship skills and keep them interested in pursuing music? And was it a factor for the both of you coming up through the educational system?
Yeah, well, I don't feel like it came up a lot in terms of my education system, but I absolutely believe they can be used as wonderful teaching tools. I think Undertale would be a really wonderful sort of tool to teach the leitmotif, for example, because Toby Fox uses a lot of leitmotifs to sort of connect the characters and even a lot of the sort of stories that a lot of these characters have. I actually did use 8-Bit Music Theories. They had a little sort of segment on this one song from one of the most recent Mario games, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, the Piranha Plants on Parade, and during a moment where there's some free time that the kids had, I put it on just for the kids to watch and see if they might learn something from it.
And video games just in general are getting much more accepted in schools these days. All the schools I sub in have really big esports clubs.
Yeah, there's a gaming club in one of the other ones that I sub.
Yeah, and they're teaming up. They're doing have Rocket League teams and they compete against other schools. And there's big events for that. So if I feel like there is a place where music education can get involved in there.
Video games are definitely getting accepted among a lot of the teacher base and a lot of the kid base. So
it's part of the generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm 50, and we all grew up with video games. It's definitely part of the zeitgeist. The group is pretty robust now. What's next, though? How do you level up? I mean, what would you like to see the Winnipeg Video Game Orchestra do in the future?
Dan has a lot of ideas.
I do,
touring,
yes.
Or?
So touring would be tough, but I want to do at least multiple concerts per year. I want this to be a Winnipeg, there is a touring orchestra that's coming in next year to do some Final Fantasy music, which is going to be awesome. But I want this to be just an institution that's here that people can come back to every year and see our concerts every single year. Something that's unique to us here in Winnipeg, and because we have such a strong music community here, I think we can sustain that. And just bigger concerts for certain game release. There's some games that are turning 30 in 2027, so we might do a big concert in relation to that game. I don't want to say too much yet, because it's just an idea right now. And of a certain game that also ends in 7.
Yeah.
And so but we'll see. We're taking it day by day right now. It's let's get past this concert, and then and then we can talk about the next one.
One thing I'm really pushing for is because we also started a very sort of small little wind quintet called the Side Quest Quintet, and we recently performed at Comic-Con, and we also did a little event for Extra Life, which is a sort of video game charity where people play video games to collect charity for the Children's Hospital. So I do want to create more opportunities where we can have small-scale concerts as well, and allow people the opportunity, one, to sort of arrange chamber groups for themselves if they want, and even if they want to make music arrangements for their chamber groups.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. It's been so great having you here. What do you hope audiences are going to take away from the Genesis concert on the 14th? Amanda, I'm going to start with you.
I am really hoping that we get more of a joining of not only music fans, but also more gamers sort of connecting with each other and being able to kind of band together a bit more.
Yeah. And yeah, I have two big hopes, and that is one of people who have a lot of people out there who have never been to the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, for example, or to see any of the other community bands here in Winnipeg, like the Winnipeg Wind Ensemble, to be their first kind of toe into the world of classical music. That this is video game music is classical music, and Beethoven and Tchaikovsky is not that too far off from what we're doing, right? And so to kind of get them exposed to that, have that as a gateway into it, and also just times are tough right now, and there's a lot of bad out there in the world, and video games are a place of escape and comfort, and to have people feel those nostalgic feelings of whatever it is that they have in connection to these games, feel those again and feel like, and just have a great time. Yeah.
Perfect. Amanda and Dan, this has been so great talking about the Winnipeg Video Game Orchestra concert on the 14th. I hope it goes super well and Jubilee Place is packed. Thanks so much for taking the time to stop by and talk to me today.
For sure.
You.
And
We're very excited.
wvgo.ca/tickets to buy your tickets, or search us on Eventbrite.
I'm getting there. For our Classic 107 listeners, the Winnipeg Video Game Orchestra concert called Genesis takes place on Friday, November the 14th at Jubilee Place at 7:30. For more details, visit wvgo.ca or go to classic107.com. I have embedded a direct link to the show page in the article about the concert that you can find up there now.
Perfect.
Dan and Amanda, thanks again.
Thank you.